Sarah was taken into custody earlier this week after being charged with the murder of Theo Silverton. The shocking chain of events began several months ago when Sarah confronted the abusive Theo during a tense encounter. In the struggle, she struck him with a metal bar, causing him to lose his balance and fall from scaffolding to the ground below. Panicked by what had happened, Sarah immediately turned to her former partner Gary for help. Gary had already proven he was willing to hide serious crimes in the past, so covering up Theo's death didn't seem like an impossible decision for him. He believed that if they kept the truth hidden long enough, the investigation would eventually focus on someone else. While Gary remained convinced they could escape justice, Sarah found the weight of her guilt impossible to ignore. Unable to cope any longer, Sarah finally confessed everything to her boyfriend, Kit Green, who also happened to be one of the investigating police officers. Lisa Connor-Swain had already warned Kit that Sarah was the leading suspect in Theo's death. She also became suspicious that Kit had crossed the line by trying to recover Sarah's clothing from the police evidence store. By that point, Kit knew there was nothing more he could do to protect Sarah from facing criminal charges. When he visited her in her prison cell, he explained how serious the case had become, leaving Sarah overwhelmed with fear. Kit urged her to argue that she acted in self-defense and to claim that Gary pressured her into helping conceal Theo's death. If she follows that advice, Sarah could improve her chances of receiving a lighter sentence or even avoiding a murder conviction altogether. However, doing so would significantly increase the likelihood of Gary facing prosecution. If she refuses to tell the full story, Sarah risks spending the rest of her life behind bars after a murder conviction. Later in the week, Maria Connor visits Sarah and angrily blames her for dragging Gary into the aftermath of Theo's death. Realizing she has nowhere left to hide, Sarah decides to give Lisa a full confession about killing Theo. The biggest question now is whether Sarah will also reveal Gary's role in covering up the crime. Gary has escaped the consequences of countless dangerous decisions over the years, but this time his luck may finally have come to an end. Sidney Martin has earned widespread praise after responding with grace and professionalism to criticism over a recent Coronation Street hospital scene. The actress, who plays Betsy Swain, has been at the heart of one of the soap's most emotional storylines after Betsy suffered a stroke caused by an injury to an artery in her neck following consensual sexual activity with her boyfriend, Dylan Wilson. The storyline has been applauded for highlighting the little-known dangers associated with non-fatal strangulation. However, one viewer spotted an issue in a recent episode that they felt deserved attention. TikTok creator Jesse, who works as a manual handling trainer, uploaded a video after watching the episode, pointing out the technique used when Betsy was assisted from her hospital bed into a chair. Jesse explained that healthcare professionals should ignore what was shown on screen because the method used is known as a drag lift, a technique that is no longer permitted in UK healthcare due to the risk of injuries such as joint dislocations. She also expressed concern that viewers without medical knowledge could mistakenly believe the maneuver shown in the episode was the correct and safe way to move a stroke patient. In the video's caption, Jesse noted that although Coronation Street is well known for researching its storylines, the drag lift has long been considered unsafe. She explained that the Royal College of Nursing condemned the practice decades ago, and that healthcare workers seen using it today could face safeguarding concerns. Instead of overlooking the comments, Sidney personally joined the discussion and thanked Jesse for highlighting the issue. The actress acknowledged that stroke specialists had been involved during filming, but admitted the guidance used for that particular scene was evidently not the most up-to-date. Jesse appreciated Sidney's response and thanked her for taking the time to engage with the feedback. She added that while it was disappointing to see the outdated technique featured in such a high-profile program, she understood that no production can realistically get every medical detail perfect. Jesse also praised the storyline itself, saying the portrayal of a young stroke survivor had been both powerful and realistic. Sydney replied once more, explaining that she completely agreed with the criticism and had personally carried out extensive research to prepare for Betsy's recovery storyline. She also pointed out that some production decisions are outside an actor's control, especially given the fast pace of filming, meaning occasional mistakes can happen despite everyone's best efforts. Nevertheless, Sydney promised she would pass the feedback on to the production team because accurate representation is extremely important. Fans quickly praised the exchange, with many commenting on the actress's mature and respectful approach to constructive criticism. The discussion was later shared across other social media platforms, where viewers applauded Sydney for listening to the concerns and ensuring the information would be passed on to help prevent similar mistakes in future episodes. Sydney has previously spoken about the extensive preparation she undertook to portray Betsy's recovery authentically, and her latest comments reinforce just how committed she has been behind the scenes. Betsy's medical storyline has become one of Coronation Street's biggest talking points in recent weeks. The teenager was rushed to hospital after collapsing at home, where doctors confirmed she had suffered a stroke. Although her condition initially appeared to improve, she later experienced a second stroke, leading doctors to discover a blood clot caused by damage to an artery in her neck. Betsy eventually confided in her mother, Lisa Connor-Swain, revealing that the injury occurred during consensual sex with Dylan, with neither of them understanding the potentially life-changing consequences at the time. Since then, the soap has focused on the emotional impact the ordeal has had on both families while following Betsy's difficult and ongoing rehabilitation. Although Jesse believed the hospital transfer scene was medically inaccurate, she remained complimentary about the overall storyline and its important awareness message. Judging by the reaction online, viewers were just as impressed by Sydney Martin's thoughtful response and willingness to learn from the feedback as they were by her emotional portrayal of Betsy Swain. Coronation Street will see Jodie Ramsey take another disturbing step next week as she secretly pretends to be her sister, Shona Platt, on the internet. Just when it appears she may finally have a chance to rebuild trust with the Platt family, Jodie makes yet another decision that threatens to destroy any progress she has made. In the upcoming episodes, Jodie finally admits that she was the person responsible for attacking Sarah at the Platt house on the night of Carla and Lisa Connor-Swain's wedding reception. Presenting herself as remorseful and vulnerable, Jodie tells her relatives that she has already confessed everything to the police. She then explains that she has nowhere else to go and asks to stay with the family while waiting to find out what the authorities decide. A Coronation Street insider revealed that Jodie continues to leave the Platts confused and emotionally exhausted. After hiding the truth about Sarah's assault for months, she still expects the family to stand by her, despite everything that has happened. The source also pointed out that Shona has repeatedly given Jodie the benefit of the doubt, even after several deeply unsettling incidents. Those included pretending to be baby Harper's mother at the hospital and secretly climbing into bed beside David. Despite everything, Jodie seems convinced she can continue pushing the boundaries without facing serious consequences. Her latest scheme begins while she is alone inside number 8, where she opens her laptop and creates an account on an online parenting forum. Instead of using her own identity, Jodie signs up under the name Shona and invents a story about being a mother who experienced a traumatic childbirth. According to the insider, Jodie appears increasingly fixated on living Shona's life rather than building one of her own. The source added that her obsession continues to grow, leaving everyone questioning what she is really trying to achieve. Whether Jodie hopes to take Shona's place within the Platt family or secretly intends to tear the family apart from the inside remains a mystery that has yet to be answered. As her behavior becomes more disturbing, the Platts may soon realize they have allowed someone far more dangerous into their home than they first believed.